Hey guys, you're watching Cait Straight Up, and I am Caitlin, and today I'm going to show you how to make the simplest, the easiest one-pot mac and cheese. Now, I have made all kinds of mac and cheeses on this, not all kinds, but I've made quite a few mac and cheese recipes on this channel because I am like a mac and cheese connoisseur, and I have lots of different recipes. So this is not the only recipe that I use, but it is one that comes in handy, especially if you're stuck at home, have few ingredients, and need to make something for your kids quickly or yourself. So counting the water and the noodles, this mac and cheese recipe has 5 ingredients. That is really good for a time when you're running low on groceries and need to whip something up really quick. So you're going to start by melting 3 tablespoons of butter into the pot that you want to use for your mac and cheese. You're just going to let it get going a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely melted down, but 3 tablespoons of butter into your pot. To that, you are going to add 1 cup of water and then your noodles. I like to use elbow noodles. For mac and cheese, I use all kinds of noodles, but for this one, we're going to use some elbows. It works really well in one-pot recipes because the noodles are small and they actually cook a little quicker. So once we have our noodles, our butter, and our water into our pot or pan, we're going to go ahead and cover it and allow it to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. You are going to have a pot that has a cover because this is an important step to get those noodles cooking, but fairly quickly. So then you're just going to give everything a stir. Your noodles should be starting to soften up. And then you're going to add in 2/3 of a cup of milk. Now, I use almond milk. You don't have to use almond milk. You can use regular milk. But if you're using regular milk, you have to be very careful that it doesn't curdle. But I'm using almond milk here, so 2/3 of a cup. You're then going to stir that in with your butter and your water and your noodles and allow your elbows to cook in that almond milk or regular milk, stirring somewhat frequently so that nothing sticks as your noodles finish up cooking. Now you're going to want to cover it and then stir, cover, and stir, so you'll get the right balance of it. If you feel like you're sticking, just give it a stir. Also, if you feel like all your water cooked off really quickly, maybe you have your heat too high or something, you can always add more water to this. You just don't want it to be too watery in the end. So at this point, you are cooking your mac and cheese until your noodles are soft and your liquid kind of soaks up and cooks off. So it's going to take about 10 minutes or so. So once your noodles are at the texture that you want to eat, you're going to go ahead and stir in your cheese. So for simplicity purposes, I'm going to just use 10 slices of American cheese that I'm going to place over top and just stir into my noodles. You could do cheddar, you could do any kind of cheese that you want, but I promised you that I was going to show a super easy mac and cheese recipe, and that is why I'm just using regular old school American to show you that you can make it as simple as it can be. So you're just going to start folding your cheese into your noodles, and at first it might not look like you got anything going on, but then as your cheese begins to melt, you're going to realize that you are going to have a super creamy and super easy, could not be easier, 5 ingredient, counting water and noodles, mac and cheese recipe. So again, if you feel like you want more cheese, add more cheese. If you want less cheese, add less cheese. But just keep stirring because as the cheese melts, it's going to kind of clump up and then it will release and be all over all of the noodles. So just kind of keep stirring your noodles until the cheese is evenly distributed throughout and you have yourself a one-pot mac and cheese. And that's it, a simple one-pot mac and cheese recipe that is perfect because it requires few ingredients. But like I said, feel free to add whatever you want at this point. Some garlic powder, some salt and pepper, some different kinds of cheese. Experiment, but you have the basic here. You know how to do it. And honestly, it is tasty, it is simple, and it is perfect when you're in a crunch. Make sure to subscribe to Cait Straight Up for more recipes like this one every week. Find me on Instagram, Cait Straight Up Cooking, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.